Michael Jordan is a legendary American basketball player who won Olympic gold twice and 6 NBA championships. Despite the fact that our hero finished his professional career 20 years ago, he still earns more than current basketball players. We will tell you how it happened right now. Michael Jordan, how the richest basketball player lives and where he spends his billions. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born on February 17, 1963 in New York's Brooklyn, in an ordinary large family. It is noteworthy that the parents of the future athlete James and Dolores met during a basketball game. Our hero has 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Shortly after Michael was born, the family moved to Wallace, where his father worked as a forklift operator in a factory and his mother worked as a bank clerk. In time, both parents were promoted, and the family was able to buy a house on the coast. By the way, Jordan is terribly afraid of water. In early childhood, the boy witnessed how his friend died in the water, and at the age of 11, he almost drowned. Even though the Jordans lived well, the kids still helped their parents by working part-time jobs in their spare time. All except our hero. Michael was lazy, shirked from household chores, in school studied average, and had problems with discipline. The only thing in which the boy's diligence was manifested was sports. From an early age, he was passionate about baseball, dreaming of becoming a famous pitcher. Hard training paid off. At the age of 12, Michael and his high school team reached the finals of the Little League Championship, later became a state champion, and was recognized as the best player. He was projected a great future in baseball, but in adolescence, our hero turned his attention to basketball. This sport, at that time, was the most popular game among black kids. Jordan's older brother Larry was a real star on his high school basketball team, and looking at his brother's success, Michael didn't want to fall behind. It is noteworthy that at that time, the future NBA legend was small in stature, so the coaches did not want to take him to the high school team. But instead of giving up, Jordan started practicing even more, honing his jump shot, which compensated for his small stature. His parents supported their son in his endeavors, so his father built a basketball court in the backyard of their house, where Michael often practiced with his older brother. For several years, the boy played at the position of point guard in the junior high school team, where he scored 28 points per game, which was an excellent indicator. At the same time, Jordan played American soccer and participated in track and field events, and continued to play baseball. By 11th grade, Michael grew to 186 centimeters, and he was finally taken to the school basketball team. There, under the 45th number, played Larry Jordan, and our hero chose the 23rd, explaining this desire to become at least half as good an athlete as his older brother. By the way, he played under this number for most of his career. Jordan took the heavy forward position, and in order to play on the team, he studied hard. He was especially good at math and other exact sciences. Even then, the promising athlete was noticed by many prestigious universities. The most persistent was the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. In the summer of '81, Michael became a student at this university on an athletic scholarship. The young man chose his specialty, cultural geography. The basketball team of this university at that time was considered one of the strongest in the United States. Under the guidance of Coach Dean Smith, Jordan began to play at the position of offensive guard and soon entered the starting 5 of the university team. In the '81/82 season, Michael was named the conference's best rookie of the year, and in the finals, he was the real hero when he scored twice in the final minutes of the game to give his team the lead. His last shot won the game and the championship. Jordan later called this shot a turning point in his career. In 1983, our hero became a member of the U.S. national basketball team. Together with the team, Michael went to the Pan American Games in Caracas, where he won gold and was recognized as the most effective player. In '84, Jordan went to the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, where he also won gold and was recognized as the best player of the Olympic tournament. In the same year, our hero showed excellent results in the university season. After winning the College Player of the Year award, he dropped out of college to enter the NBA draft. However, Jordan later returned to his studies and received his bachelor's degree in '86. At the 1984 NBA draft, Michael was selected by the Chicago Bulls at number 3. Already in his first season, the athlete showed high results and entered the starting 5 at the NBA All-Star Game. Jordan quickly became a crowd favorite, and after just 1 month of his professional career, he appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated with the headline, "A Star is Born." In the same year, Michael signed a 5-year advertising contract with Nike, under the terms of which he received $500,000 annually, plus shares of the company, which totaled $7 million. At that time, this deal was the largest in history. Black and red Air Jordan sneakers, in the colors of the Chicago Bulls uniform, were designed especially for the basketball player. True, the NBA banned this model because of too prominent color scheme. It is a common story that Jordan continued to play in the band's shoes, and Nike paid $5,000 fines for each NBA game. However, there is no evidence that the athlete has appeared on the floor in red and black sneakers in official games, so it could just be a PR stunt that worked great. Over 1 million pairs were sold in 2 months alone. Michael's popularity had a downside. The increased attention to his person led to bullying. During a match, more experienced comrades refused to give the ball to the rising star and ignored him in every possible way. Nevertheless, Jordan was able to withstand the pressure and earned NBA Rookie of the Year honors at season's end. He also became the 3rd highest scorer and was among the second 5 best players in the association. The annual salary of the basketball player amounted to $550,000. By the way, having become a recognized star, Michael himself began to bully his partners. He arranged late-night sit-ins to get his teammates in bad shape at practice, bribed maids to start vacuuming at night, and even blackmailed the coaching staff just to get a player he didn't want out of the lineup. In the 85/86 season, Michael missed 64 games due to a leg injury. However, after recovering in a game against the Boston Celtics, he managed to set an unbroken record of 63 points scored per game in the playoffs. His annual salary at that time was $630,000. Interestingly, for good luck during NBA games, the athlete always wore university shorts under the Chicago Bulls uniform. He also had another tradition. Before every game, Michael ate the same food: steak with baked potatoes, salad, and ginger ale. The following season, the basketball player became one of the most prolific scorers in NBA history. In addition, he became the second, after Wilt Chamberlain, to score 3,000 points in a season, and the first to make 200 steals and 100 block shots in the same period. Despite these achievements, the title of the most valuable player of the league went to Magic Johnson of the Los Angeles Lakers, who, by the way, is our hero's idol. The athlete earned $737,000 for the year. In the season 87/88, Michael was named the best scorer and best defensive player of the league, and for the first time managed to win the title of the most valuable player of the regular season. His annual salary amounted to $845,000. But in the next season, it increased to $2 million. Interestingly, during games in other cities, the athlete often had to stay in hotels, and to avoid media attention, he booked a room in the name of Leroy Smith. That was the name of the guy who was recruited to the school basketball team in 10th grade to replace our hero. In the 89th/90th season, Michael became the captain of the team, which, at that time, was just replenished with young, ambitious players. The Chicago Bulls advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, but lost there to the Detroit Pistons for the 3rd consecutive season. At the end of the season, our hero earned $2.25 million. At the same time, Jordan got married for the first time. His chosen one was Juanita Wanoy, who worked as a loan officer. The basketball player was introduced to the girl by a mutual friend in 1985. Young people, for the sake of interest, decided to go on a date, and already there felt that they are comfortable together. 2 years after meeting, Michael made his beloved a proposal, but the wedding took place only in '89. At that time, Juanita had already given birth to Jordan's son, Jeffrey, and after the marriage, their family was enriched with another son, Marcus, and daughter, Jasmine. By the way, both of our heroes' sons tried to follow in their father's footsteps, but without much success, and the daughter became a brand manager. The 90-91 season was very successful for Michael. Chicago Bulls, for the first time in history, went to the NBA Finals, where they defeated the Los Angeles Lakers. Holding the trophy, Jordan couldn't hold back tears. The basketball player became not only the most valuable player of the regular season, but also of the NBA Finals. His annual salary was $2.5 million. The next season, the Chicago Bulls became champions again, and Michael was recognized as the most valuable player of the regular season and the NBA Finals, earning $3.25 million. At the same time, the basketball player became famous for his shots with his eyes closed. With this trick, Jordan simply mocked his opponents, and in order to break their spirit, he was no stranger to insults. He once shouted to the 160-centimeter Muggsy Boggs, "Come on, throw it, you damn midget." After that, he completely missed the shot, and a year later, he admitted that he was still afraid to throw from distance. In one of the games of the final series, Jordan set a record for the number of points scored, including scoring 6 three-pointers. He was nicknamed his Airness for his fantastic leaping ability. In the same period, as part of the U.S. national team, Michael went to the American Basketball Championship, where his team won. After that, the national team took part in the Summer Olympics in Barcelona, where they won gold. Interestingly, at the award ceremony, Jordan stood on the podium wrapped in the American flag, which covered the Reebok logo on the national team's uniform. The reason for this was the athlete's contract with Nike. In the 92/93 season, the Chicago Bulls again became champions, but Michael, despite excellent statistics, lost the award of the most valuable player of the regular season to his friend Charles Barkley. At the same time, Jordan topped the list of the league's most productive players for the 7th time in a row. His annual salary amounted to $4 million. In October 1993, our hero announced his retirement, citing a loss of interest in basketball. Another reason that prompted this decision was the death of his father. James Jordan was robbed and killed by 2 teenagers. By the way, if for Michael the parent was a supporting figure, then for his sister Dolores, Jordan Sr. was a rapist. The girl released a book, In the Shadow of the Family, in which she revealed that the horror went on for years, and her mother asked her not to tell anyone about it. During the same period, the athlete was seen in a casino, where he lost a solid sum. Later, his gambling buddy Richest wrote a book in which he said that he won Michael $1.25 million in golf. In one of the interviews, Jordan admitted to his gambling addiction. Even in arguments with his teammates, he wanted to win at all costs. For example, Bulls players like to bet on whose suitcase would appear first on the luggage belt. More often than not, it was our hero who won, as he simply bribed the airport staff. And once, after losing to a teammate in ping pong, he spent 6 months honing his skills and challenged the winner to a return duel. There was $70,000 at stake, and the condition was that both players had to drink 3 glasses of beer during the game. Michael won, and only then admitted that there was apple juice in his glass. In 1994, Michael, to the surprise of many, signed a contract with the Chicago White Sox baseball club. In this way, he wanted to fulfill his late father's dream. During Jordan's short baseball career, he played for the Birmingham Barons and Scottsdale Scorpions, earning $4 million. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bulls basketball team, without Michael, began to lose ground. But in 1995, Jordan announced his return to the NBA, earning $3.85 million for the year. However, at first the basketball player played under number 45, but by the end of the season, he returned to his former number, 23rd. It is noteworthy that in his career, there was the only time when he went on the court not under his number. It happened in 1990, when the employees of the sports arena stole his set of uniforms. Upset, Michael wanted to go out in a fan's uniform, but it did not fit him, and he had to wear a uniform with number 12. In the 95/96 season, the Chicago Bulls were champions. That day, the country was celebrating Father's Day, and Jordan, remembering his bitter loss, could not hold back his tears. At the end of the season, Michael became the league's all-time leader in scoring, the most valuable player of the regular season, the finals, and the All-Star game. His salary then amounted to $3.85 million. In 1996, the family movie Space Jam, starring our hero, was released. Subsequently, the athlete starred in the movie His Game and the TV series My Wife and Kids as himself. In the season 96/97, Chicago Bulls again became champions of the NBA. The series of final games was remembered for 2 bright moments. In Game 1, Michael's jump shot at the siren won the game, but in Game 5, with the series tied 2-2, Jordan scored 38 points, including a crucial 3-pointer in the final minute, all despite a fever due to a virus. That game went down in history as the flu game. At the end of the season, Michael was named the Finals most valuable player for the 5th time. However, he did not win the award at the All-Star game, despite becoming the first player to record a triple-double in All-Star game history. His annual salary then exceeded $30 million. By the way, Jordan became the first athlete in history to receive such a huge sum. The following season, the team won again. At the end of the finals, Michael raised 6 fingers above his head. He led his team to their 6th championship title. This moment was among the greatest in the history of basketball. The final game is still considered the highest-rated event on television, having gathered the maximum TV audience in the history of the NBA. By the way, the sneakers in which he then played in the future were sold at auction for $2.2 million, a record price for athletic shoes. The annual salary of our hero then exceeded $33 million. In January 1999, Jordan, for the 2nd time, announced the end of his career, but a year later returned to the NBA, however, already as co-owner and general manager of the club Washington Wizards. In 2001, Michael resumed his career as a basketball player, playing for the Capital team. It was a disappointing season as most players were injured, including Jordan. He donated his entire salary of $1 million to the families of the victims of the September 11th tragedy. The 2002-2003 season was the final season of Jordan's career, During his last game, Michael was given a 4-minute standing ovation. To honor the end of his career, the clubs for which the basketball player played retired the number 23 from circulation. Subsequently, our hero was included in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, the personal life of the celebrity was on everyone's lips. In 2002, his wife filed for divorce, citing disagreements in the family, but soon reconciled with her husband. But in 2006, a new scandal broke out. A certain Carla Knopfel admitted that she was the basketball player's mistress for a long time, and that he paid her $250,000 for silence. The girl even sued Jordan with a demand to pay her an additional promised $5 million and claimed to have a common child. However, according to the results of the DNA test, paternity was not confirmed, and the court sided with Michael. This was not the only case of infidelity of the athlete. At one time, he was credited with other affairs, including with actresses Vanessa Williams, Garcelle Bove, Robin Givens, and Gabrielle Union, singer Janet Jackson, and several call girls. And even if some of the affairs were just speculation, Jordan's marriage was beyond saving. At the end of 2006, the divorce proceedings were finalized, and Juanita received $168 million of payoffs, making it one of the most expensive divorces in history. Over time, offenses passed, and now the former spouses maintain good relations. It should be noted that the famous basketball player was not distinguished by a respectful attitude to the female sex. It is a known case, which occurred in the mid-90s, when Michael, during a game of craps, offered to put on the line a night with the presenter of MTV, Lisa Kennedy, who was present in the room. The bewildered girl managed to persuade the man to change the bet, but later she admitted that she was completely devastated by such an attitude. In 2008, Jordan met Cuban model Yvette Prieto, and 3 years later, Michael proposed to his beloved. In 2013, the couple played a lavish wedding, which cost our hero $10 million. Instead of gifts, the athlete asked the guests to make a contribution to the charity fund. This time, the man took the legal side of the issue more seriously and signed a prenuptial agreement with Prieto, under the terms of which she cannot claim his fortune, but in case of divorce has the right to receive $1 million for each year they live together. In 2014, Yvette gave birth to Jordan's twin girls, Isabel and Victoria. After his career ended, Michael kept in shape by playing in charity golf tournaments for celebrities. He also took up motorcycling. The basketball legend proved himself as a successful businessman. He owns shares in many companies. The man has his own clothing brand, Jordan, 7 restaurants, a car dealership, and other businesses. In addition, in 2009, he became the owner of the Charlotte Hornets basketball club. The investment was financially successful, but Michael made a lot of mistakes in management. As a result, the team is currently considered one of the worst in the NBA. To date, the state of the celebrity is estimated at $2.2 billion. Jordan crossed the $1 billion mark in 2014, becoming the first billionaire basketball player. Michael remains the richest athlete in the world to this day. At the moment, he earns more than $120,000 annually only on advertising Jordan sneakers. And this is not counting advertising contracts with brands McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Chevrolet, and many others. Mike Jordan had a huge impact on the popularization of basketball in the world. Many books and documentaries have been written about him. For example, the miniseries The Last Dance, released in 2020, broke viewing records in the sports documentary genre. And recently, the movie Air the Big Leap premiered about the history of the legendary Air Jordan sneakers, which revolutionized the world of athletic footwear. And while our hero was not involved in the making of the film, he did meet with director Ben Affleck and shared his ideas. In particular, he proposed to take actress Viola Davis for the role of his mother. Basketball player pays special attention to charity, allocating for these purposes annually from $2 to $10 million. Michael is known to have won a number of lawsuits throughout his career against companies that used his image without permission. All the money won, which is about $9 million, the man sent to children's charities. Together with his family, Jordan lives in Florida on Jupiter Island, where he has a luxurious mansion. In 2011, he bought a plot of land for $4.8 million, and in 2 years, he built a huge dream house of 2,600 square meters, spending another $7.6 million. In addition to the main mansion, there are 3 guest houses, a tennis court, a golf course, a garden, and several swimming pools. In 1991, the basketball player bought a plot of land in Highland Park, near Chicago, where he built a huge estate where he lived with his first wife and children. The main house of over 3,000 square feet includes 9 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, living rooms, kitchen, dining room, wine cellar, movie theater, billiard room, basketball court, and gymnasium. The grounds include a tennis court, golf course, swimming pool, artificial pond, and garden. In 2013, Michael put the property on the market for $29 million, then reduced the price to $14.8 million, but has not sold it yet. At the same time, the athlete annually pays $100,000 in taxes on this property. In 2013, the athlete bought a house on the shore of the lake in Cornelius, North Carolina, for $2.8 million. The property, with an area of 1,140 square meters. Meters include 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, spacious living rooms, and kitchen studio. And on the territory, there is a private dock. Not far from this house, Jordan owns a 650 square foot condominium apartment. Michael also owns a villa in Park City, Utah. In 2019, he put the house on the market for $7.5 million. Jordan's property has a huge collection of cars, which includes Chevrolet Corvette C4 and C5, several Ferrari models, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche 911 and 930, Bentley Continental GT, Aston Martin, Range Rover, Bugatti Veyron, Toyota Land Cruiser, and Cadillac. Michael also owns a private jet worth $50 million and a 47-meter yacht. Our hero is rightfully considered one of the best basketball players in the history of the NBA. Fans call him the God of basketball. Do you like Michael Jordan?